All of it?
Yes.
Yeah.
All of it.
Okay, because the evidence package is a little worked up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And the
So we
Well,
can keep it at
we can-
10.5. I mean, that's fine.
10.5 is fine?
Yes.
All right. Let's
So I'm
go.
gonna make a motion then on case 2021-1612, account number 69768. When considering Q1 incorrect appraised market value, that we lower the 2021 assessed value back to the 2020 assessed value of $10,500.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Val and Tyler, we're ready for this.
Yeah.
North side,
Ready what?
golf side.
12 now.
I think we need that.
Yeah.
Sign back in.
It should be on.
Mhm.
You just restarted it like you do in the morning?
I did again
Oh, okay.
for the second time, but it should be back on.
Okay. All right. We're gonna open hearings on two cases, 1607 and 1696.
Just a little delay.
And
I signed out and signed back in.
Yeah,
again.
no, it's okay.
I, Charles Powers, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 4166F as related to cases 1607 and 1696.
I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F as it relates to case IDs 2021-1607 and 2021-1696.
Regarding cases 1607 and 1696, I do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code 4166F.
I, Scott Waggart, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F relating to case IDs 1607 and 1696.
All testimony from all witnesses must be given under oath.
I, Brad Coleman, do solemnly swear that the testimony I shall present to the appraisal review board for Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
Oh, Brad,
Yes, sir.
state the two numbers, 1607 and 1696, will you please?
Okay. 1607 and 1696?
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you.
You want me to read it?
No, you don't have to do it again.
All right, and I, Amy Burke, do solemnly swear or affirm the testimony shall present in the appraisal review board for the Aransas County Appraisal District true and correct for account cases 1607 and 1696.
Okay. So let's open a hearing on 2021-1607, account 66793.
Which number again, sir?
66793 is the account.
Okay. All right. me see it, number 66.
This is two strips of land right along 35.
Okay, 66793. And you said that's
Yes,
66793?
Yeah, the picture right
Okay.
there.
All right. And so I don't know if I had the proposed. What is can you tell me what the change is from,
Last year was 1,780. This year is 74,520. It's 3.564 acres. So part of the abandoned railroad corridor.
right? And so the tax increase or the appraised value is for that 3 acres is 74,520.
That's the new value,
That's it. And what was the old value?
yeah. 1,780.
I agree with that's 2,780. That property has not been subdivided. I have some acreage north of my main entrance. There's 3 lots there. I think they're half acre. It's a subdivision. They're each valued at around $15,000. I would say I had palm trees planted there at one time. We transplanted all of them. Unfortunately, we had a freeze. We lost a lot of palm trees, but the value of that property in the fact that we don't have any service, no water service there to that property. It had not been subdivided. Some of it is wetlands, not all of it, but some of it is wetlands. The railroad used to be there, and I would say, if you took a half acre value of those other lots that are subdivided, I would say unsubdivided railroad corridor. Of course, it's just 100 foot deep, and that's area zone 1A, and they take a 25-foot setback from the front line, and 20 from the rear. So it leaves you 55 foot that you could actually build on. And we have to have a half acre for a septic tank, and that doesn't leave much room to build something. I mean, it's a long piece of property, 225 feet long to get a half acre that's 100 foot deep. Because an acre is 43,000. So my argument would be that it might be worth 20,000. You might have it pretty well priced there. It's 3.54 acres. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that could be 7 lots. If I spent the money to go to an engineer, survey it out, I believe that the subdivided property is worth 15,000 a half acre. And so if this was unsubdivided, I would say that, and being in 2 different tracts, if it was contiguous, it would make a difference, but it's not contiguous. So I would say the value of the acreage at $10,000 an acre as it sits now. I would like to have a retail strip built there someday. What that's gonna be, I had to get the zoning changed, and that's a deal. But in its present condition, I would say that would be a fair.
You know what you should do with this? You should have an idea. You should make a railroad. It'd be perfect.
Be perfect, huh? Make a 3,000-foot railroad.
It's exactly the right size.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think it's all pretty useful. I have evidence for main value, but yeah.
So what would that be, $35,000?
Yeah.
You take that? You take that? Okay. So I'm gonna make a motion then on case ID 2021-1607. Account 66793, when considering Q1 incorrect appraised market value. I move that we lower the 2021 assessed value from $74,520 down to $35,000 even.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opening case 1696, account 35512. Okay,
Mhm.
Brad, what do you got on this?
Okay, I can show you on this, y'all probably, I think sure exhibit also. Sure. Have that, but I can show you on this. This is referred to as the Salton bus track, kind of shaped like a key. It's outlined in red here. You can see that this is the southern boundary of it, and it goes out here and adjoins this 1.44 acres. This is Turtle Bayou Road. State let me, highway department let me name this because this is Turtle Bayou right here, where they used to herd sea turtles up, slaughter them, can them, and send them to New York. People eat turtle up there. But anyway, come to find out, I've been paying taxes on this part right here that Steve Fisher's also paying taxes on. And since I was paying taxes on it, and unbeknownst, I didn't ever recall that I even deeded that property to him. But this part here is, we have a lawsuit with Mr. Fisher because since I was paying taxes since 2010 on this track all this time, I naturally assumed I owned it because I was paying taxes on it the whole time. The state highway department, because this is an emergency dump site, they claim they own this road. I went back to the 1800s. I have researched the title. I used to be real estate. I was the youngest one person in Texas to get a license at 19. So I want to be sure I was on good ground. And I've gone back and I've studied the whole history. Mr. Megler used to own 1,400 acres. That's why I got the railroad property from Union Pacific, because he deeded it instead of giving them an easement. So I had to buy the railroad property all the way up here to Cove Park. And to have access to this property behind Union Pacific's land. And this track is in controversy with Steve Fisher and TxDOT. And they're claiming they own this road, but they don't maintain it. I'm the only one that maintains it. Mr. Smith that has an acre and a half out here, he uses the road to get to his property. I let him do that. And he works with me a little bit on repairing the road. But I stand my ground that I own that I felt like I owned 16.9 acres, but apparently there's a deed to Mr. Fisher that hasn't been recorded. I mean, it was filed in the county clerk's office. I don't know if the tax office, I mean, if they're taxing both of us, they didn't communicate to the appraisal district. that it had changed hands. It's the only thing I can figure out. And so, I'm in a lawsuit, and I may be in a lawsuit with TxDOT, but I'm going to assert my rights that I do own that property, and I did own it, and I have paid the taxes on it since I think I've owned it since 2006 or 7 or 5, up to this 2010, when I supposedly deeded this property to Mr. Fisher. And as I said, both of us paying, I don't know what we do about the refund of the taxes to either him or me, because we don't both own it.
That's
Or
something,
it
that's
was
something
conveyed to
for
me.
the lawyers to work out.
Well, yeah, and he is a lawyer, and
Yeah.
I was supposed to be, but I got tired of school.
Now, how many acres is this?
Well, that's the thing. It's been called 18 acres, been called 16.9 acres. And if roughly 2 acres has been conveyed to him, then it is like 14 acres. And as I said, the state has come out there and they moved the survey line.
Jackie, can you do a square, an acre, set your units to acres? And let's see what the red, I'm sorry, the blue parcel 35512, how much that embraces on our map? Because that doesn't include,
You're gonna take the road out of the middle.
yeah, well, we'll have to do it in two
Two
separate
pieces.
things in that.
Yeah, right.
And the, what you call it? I mean, the road won't make that much of a difference. I'm just trying to see if that
State
16.9
owns the road.
includes.
Well, the state
Yeah.
claims they do. But
7.78.
I say I own,
7.7.
you know,
One.
Mhm.
I own both sides. I say, but the state says they own. And I guess it's, the state doesn't pay.
Well, we're looking for a
taxes to the
difference
on
appraisal
any-
district.
on any-
Right. Yeah.
What I'm trying to see is if our 16.9 includes this.
Okay.
Property ID. That is the state.
Yeah.
Huge piece of property.
Yeah.
80, 100
Yeah.
acres, whatever. it is.
5.14.
5.14. Yeah, so that,
What do they mean with
The-
that?
okay, so the map is accurate to the version you're explaining. However, let me see here. Acreage.
What was it? 14?
12.92 total.
Jackie, I'm getting dimensions in square footage. How much does the property account have for acreage in this thing?
It's 16.9.
That's what I'm saying.
It says 16.9 in the legal, but does it say that on the land tab?
Let me look. One of them commercial,
There should be a total.
well, yeah,
Looks pretty low.
8.0025.
8.0025.
Yeah,
Well, I don't even know what to do with that.
Barrett is 6.8 and commercial is 1.1.
1.1. Well, that's less than both of them.
Yeah,
That doesn't seem accurate.
You
let me
start
look
your
and
time.
see what,
Sure. I don't know why this property is only being valued as if it has about 8 acres.
That's not what I'm seeing.
Well, if you look under land information,
Yeah, I got,
the
Effective
underneath,
acres.
the names there on the left.
Commercial
right under where it says commercial.
1.1775 and barren or wetlands effective acres 6.825.
6.825. Oh, okay,
So
so
it's only about 8 acres
Total.
total. Yeah.
6.865 and 1.177.
So I might be asking a ridiculous question if the answer is, depending on the answer, but are you trying to put forth that your value should be higher because you own 16.9 acres?
Well,
Or-
I just wanted to point out You know, if, right now, you know, TxDOT's saying that they own, you know, all this road, and if you'll look at a wetlands map, you'll see how much is wetlands on this side, just about all of it is.
Right.
So I'm just saying that this has not been settled with, you know, I moved,
Well,
they said, I built some, on this side of the road, I had built some temporary storage buildings, and they said if I didn't move them off their supposed property, I was gonna be fined $10,000 a day. And so I moved them, and now I've done my research, and I met with the new district manager for TxDOT, and he apologized to me and said I was right, that I owned it. But now they're backpedaled on that because I guess.
It's not for the purview of this board.
well, I'm just trying to let you know, you're only being assessed on around 8 acres. And whether it's 16 or 14, both of those are above what is being assessed as far as value is concerned. Our legal description is just gonna match whatever deed, whenever that gets worked out, you know, in a court of law, and then figures out who, somebody owes somebody money, that's fine.
Okay, what is the current valuation,
It's 17,910.
and what is the?
Last year it was 18,130.
Okay, so
And if
you're-
we think about it in concert with the other properties that you have near here.
Yeah.
10,000 for the one underwater, 35 for the frontage.
Yeah.
This one's 18. Sound good? But I'm just trying to make sure you're not,
Well, I just,
your intention
just-
here is not
It wasn't
to
for that
get a
road.
rule.
yeah, I didn't
concerning the
know,
16
I didn't
acre
know
boundary.
if you were taking the 16.9, you know,
Right.
I'm pleased that you recognize that I own 16.9. I just gotta convince these other people that I do.
Well, I don't know if you do or you don't. I just
I
know
know
that
you
that's
don't.
the record.
I know you don't.
And I can tell you what the legal says, and I can tell you what the acreage is
Yeah.
on the value, but I'm just trying to make sure you're not, are you trying to say that it's bigger and it should be more? Or are you good with it? Are we good?
Well, right now,
Because if it was 16 acres of property, your value would be higher.
yeah, well, I understand.
Or is that what you're
Well,
trying to do?
All I knew was that the legal acreage that you had up
Right.
here was that, and I
Got
wanted to point out
Okay,
to,
yeah, it's only being assessed and valued on 8 acres.
okay,
The rest of it's underwater or not yours.
okay,
Or yours on a different parcel. I don't know.
Is that okay?
that's okay. I
Okay.
just want, I
Okay.
just like to clear things up in my mind and everyone else's.
Okay, so I'm gonna make a motion then on case ID 2021-1696, account 35512. When considering incorrect Q1 incorrect appraised market value, I move that we maintain the 2021 assessed value at $17,910.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Brad,
Okay,
we're done.
I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Good job. Everybody's good.
Every day you see the sunrise.
That's right, I like the sunrise. Try to keep it up every day. Thank y'all for your time and thank you for your service. I know that go through a lot of grief, I'm sure.
No.
Oh.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Thank you, Brad.
Thank you.
One more on the 130. Well, it's not an affidavit only, and it's in person. Our Walker is here.
1946.
What did you say, 1946?
Yeah, page 8, top of page 8.
So, extended.
You want a 5-minute break?
Sure, why not?
Okey dokey. What
considering Q1 incorrect appraised market value and Q2 appraisal ratio exceeds the median level of appraisal with equity value, and Q5 other, that we lower the 2021 assessed value from 128,540 down to $75,000.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're done.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
It's the end of the weekend.
You too. Am I done?
You
Yes.
are.
Okay.
You are done.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Gee,
I guess it's 2271.
So question,
Yeah.
just next year when the ARV value falls off,
Mhm.
is the district going to put a note in this case?
It's gonna be a lot of work.
Just to
But
say,
yeah.
no, don't do it, income method.
Yeah, there's gonna, basically, it's the first year and the second year are both just a titanic amount of work. And then after that, it's easy. You're just keeping it up every year.
Okay,
And it's
okay.
one of those things where one of my goals for 2022 is, rather than breaking so much new ground, building a little bit more redundancy and year-over-year maintenance so that someone other than me could possibly do it.
Okay.
And you make sure it works into the future without breaking. It doesn't, we don't go 20 years before it gets redone.
Right.
Affidavit.
All right.
All right, this is case number 2271 on the 130 docket.
9.
Affidavit only.
Okay. Opening a hearing on case ID 2271, account 27862. This hearing is being recorded.
There's nothing that's not being protested here.
Oh, this is full vote.
It take everything, including Q1 and Q2, so it looks like that's gonna be.
We are the appraisal review board that will be hearing the protest today. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of the protest. Protester has the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to the protester with our determination. In accordance with tax code section 4145H, all written material is assumed to have been provided with the affidavit. The ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing an affidavit to that effect. I, Charles Powers, do solemnly swear I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 4166F.
I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F.
I, Bill Duck, do solemnly swear I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code 4166F.
I, Scott Wagner, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F.
And I, Evan Burke, do solemnly swear affirm the testimony shall present to the appraisal review board of the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct. I'll read the property owner's affidavit into the record. This is account 27862. Real Inn Rockport LLC, represented by Texas Pro Tax as of 1/1/21. 8322 Cross Park Drive, Austin, Texas 78754. The office of Texas Pro Tax. 512-339-6671. The office of Texas Pro Tax. rcats@texasprotax.com. Section 2, 1603 Water Street, Rockport, Texas 78382. They selected Q1 and 2 for reasons for protest. Evidence included is listed as being 0 pages. Statement of facts or arguments is as follows. The owner of the subject property, PID 27862, believes the appraised value is above market and not equal and uniform with others. Hearing type selected is they don't intend to appear at the hearing. Signed by Ryan L. Katz, 10740. He has a model number in county is this. What county is this signed in? It says state of Texas, county of Texas. That's weird. Okay, at least it was signed in Texas. We know that. There's no Texas county, is there? Please, Texas County. Okay. All right, that concludes their evidence. There's 0 pages of attached evidence. So they're just asserting Q1 and Q2. All right, this account ID is 27862. It is a motel on Water Street, the corner of Water Street and Second, called Reelin' Inn on the Bay. It only has 9 units, and we have it noticed this year at $369,860. You'll notice on your docket last year it was $425,000. This is a small, independently owned, no flag motel in Rockport. The next is the income equity grid, and it shows other properties that are in the motel class, 2 of which are small, 1 of which is in the regular motel class. There are different room revenue rates depending on the category. Pirate Cove Cottages is really comparable to this one. It's a third one, 18948. It is the exact same room revenue, same cap rate, same expenses, same vacancy. It's all market data, indicating a value for the subject. And then attached to that is the current listing for this property. This subject is listed for sale right now for what in the world? Why did it print out like this? I can't hardly read it.
Yeah, we do that for
It's-
both pages. It does.
It's 640,000. It's for sale for 640. And sale ratio report for income value properties. This little motel does really, really well for its size. It's the reason the value went down year over year is because market data pulled motels, independently owned motels in general down. And this is just it's the top of the list. So it's, you know, I don't think there's 640 is probably a lot to pay for it. But if someone might, I think realistically it's going to sell for something between our 2 numbers. Our value is, I know it's low, but it's because it's a market value. It's just across the whole spectrum of stuff. They got information telling us it's less, great, but that's it.
Okay. See any reason to change anything here? Okay. I'm gonna make a motion then on case ID 2021-2271, account 27862. When considering Q1 incorrect appraised market value, Q2 appraisal ratio exceeds the median level of appraisal, the equity value. I move that we maintain the 2021 assessed value at $369,860.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I guess we've finished the 130 docket. And now we wait.
Yes. I'm not sure on any of this stuff on the internet.
Yeah.
Who's in there? Do you want to describe?
Yeah.
The wonder,
Okay, we do have a 3 o'clock here. We're still getting the evidence in,
Okay.
but it's going to be case number 1354.
Okay.
Is this in person?
Yes.
What?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, look. Yeah, but I can take a break, I think. You haven't gone to Houston. Yeah.
That you missed multiple mile on a Zoom meeting today because of spectrum
Oh, okay,
being Ben.
yeah.
What's that?
I asked Cindy if her electricity was off. She said it was not. It goes off and comes back on.
It's dark chocolate. Right?
Get
that's
out of
better
town,
for you?
those are.
Yeah,
Oh, thank
Practically
God I
a
didn't know
health
that.
the dark chocolate have one.
It's my favorite.
Yeah, I like these better than the other one. Mm.
So she said the internet being down was a bit of a problem today.
Was it down at your place?
Electricity kept going off and coming back on. And Spectrum had some sort of an error. I had a feeling somebody clipped a wire somewhere by accident. Or I think the AT&T guys that are doing
They're putting in fiber.
the fiber
Okay.
things, because
Mhm.
there's these big giant orange, I don't know what you call it, but
Spools of fiber optic stuff.
Okay.
yeah, it's full of
Which
fiber
one?
optic, but it's
It's,
a thing. You can see them
1354.
sticking up in people's front yards now. because
They
it's
did
all
that
over.
for Country
Did all
Club
that
here a
crap.
couple years ago.
Yeah, so I got feeling they screwed up everybody.
Okay,
All right, I will
Infrastructure.
bring him on back.
yep.
It's good. You should taste it.
Oh, you like those?
It's,
They're
they're so
I
good.
love dark
Those are
chocolate.
They are really good.
If I'd known that was dark chocolate, I'd eat
You're gonna be in
all
that
summer
chair right
long.
there. at the end of
Probably
the
like
table.
Okay.
moles, enchiladas.
I love them.
This is Larry Andrews.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, sir.
All right, we have some administrivia to go through before we get to the meat of the matter.
Okay,
If you just follow along with me, I'll have some questions for you at the end.
sure.
We're opening case ID 1354, account 62285. This hearing is being recorded.
Under protest is Q1 incorrect appraised market value.
We are the appraisal review board that will be hearing your protest today. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of your protest. The appraisal review board is the four of us around this table. Eamon is the representative of the district. At the end of the hearing, you may complete a survey regarding your experience. The survey may be completed using the survey form and emailed to ptad.communications@cpa.texas.gov or online at surveymonkey.com/r/surveyarb. The survey is voluntary. You also have the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to you with our determination. In accordance with tax code section 4145H, all written material that has not been provided must be provided at this time. The ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing an affidavit to that effect. I, Charles Powers, do solemnly swear I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 4166F.
I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F.
I, Bill Dunk, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code 4166.
I, Scott Wagner, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F.
All testimony from all witnesses must be given under oath.
Go ahead, read that aloud for me.
I, Larry Andrews, do solemnly swear and affirm that the testimony I shall present to the appraisal review board for Aransas County is true and correct.
I, Eamon Burke, do solemnly swear or affirm the testimony shall present to the appraisal review board to Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
Larry, I'm obligated to ask you if you have an appraiser's license in the state of Texas.
I do not.
Thank you. You have a chart. It's on that, in that little Mylar thing over there that shows how we're going to proceed with the hearing.
Okay,
And it has two major columns on it. The reason is that you get to choose whether you speak first or whether Eamon speaks first for the district. Which would you like to do?
Let them speak first.
Okay, Amy, you have 5 minutes.
I'm gonna break from our normal dialogue here. Which property are you under the impression that we're dealing with?
Well, okay, I got two pieces of property. One's the one on Carquest building, and the other is on Fuquay. And my biggest concern was the Fuquay, because that's the one with the biggest increase.
We only have a protest form for the CarQuest building. This board, the ARB, has been granted jurisdiction to make a ruling on only that property. So the other one, we don't have anything for it. Like, there's nothing even prepared for it. This is only for account 62285. So I mean, I'm just saying, I just took a peek at what you had in here, and I was like, oh man, I think he thinks this is his other property.
Yeah, because see, there was two on the same date, and I had some people come down with COVID.
Okay,
So I called to get them moved over,
okay.
and there was two to move over.
So you moved one and canceled the other, but you think it might have been the wrong one.
Well, I didn't cancel any of them.
Oh, okay. Well, what's the other property that you don't want?
Well, it's,
We have 2 hearings today, or? just
that's
one?
what I thought I had was 2 hearings. That's what.
Is it in a different name?
Well, the ID that I'm going for is 62971, property ID.
Case ID 1353.
Do, okay, your LDA holdings.
Yes. that's
Got it. Okay,
That's what I
so
thought it was
the
gonna be.
evidence was entered in the wrong order. So let's see if did you enter in evidence for the CarQuest building? Did you
No.
submit stuff?
No, I
Okay,
submitted stuff for the,
storage building.
yeah.
Okay, well, let's stick with the CarQuest building for now.
Okay.
Because that's all this hearing is about.
Okay, what's gonna happen to the other one?
We'll do it next.
We'll do it next.
Oh, okay, but today.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was not aware.
All
that
right.
it was
Open
you.
the wrong case.
Let me understand, the CarQuest building, we're gonna continue with 1354.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay,
It's still under protest.
okay, but next, we're gonna do
The protester's evidence or the property owner's evidence.
We didn't bring any evidence for CarQuest.
Okay,
just
you
said-
didn't,
Yeah.
no, okay,
Okay.
fine.
Okay, so this is 62285. This is the CarQuest building.
Mhm.
It's 379,000 was the last known sale price in 2010. Value last year was 442,540. It is a 5,000 square foot retail building. It's this year was noticed at 471,960. There are sales of the place across the street for 325, and then some other commercial properties in Aransas County, giving an indicated median value of 722,375. I would prefer to be doing this, and there's a note, there you go, in equity. The bottom of the equity grid says property should be on income approach, and the equity grid shows a value for the subject at 614,000. That being said, it's kind of a meaningless number, because of how, I mean, it's just an equity number, but we're gonna pass all the time. It's kind of not doing it. So that's where our value came from. We're basically everything saying that according to sales of commercial property, we're probably deeply undervaluing this place, just from that one perspective. Is there a lease on this property? Do you lease it to yourself?
Do I lease it?
Yeah, do you lease it to yourself? Like, does CarQuest
No.
lease it from you by any chance?
No.
Okay, all right. What's the building insured for? Do you have windstorm on it?
Oh, yeah. I don't really know. I mean,
Okay.
I'd hate to give you figures that
Yeah.
are not correct.
Yeah.
You know, and the only way I can get them correct is to source the paperwork on it.
Yeah.
Anything else, Damon?
Let me check something. So, and your opinion of value on this is basically last year's value, right? 442, 540?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I can go for that. The only reason the value changed was because there's a neighborhood improvement adjustment. And that doesn't apply to the property. It's for houses. That's for houses.
I made a note here, I'm not in a high growth area, so.
Well, you actually really are, but you're not a house. You're not a house.
Yeah.
So you're good with last year's value?
Yes.
Okay, both sides, all right. So I'm gonna make a motion then on case ID 2021-1354, account 62285. When considering Q1 incorrect appraised market value, that we lower the 2021 assessed value back to the 2020 value of $442,540.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ooh,
Okay. So what was the next?
1353.
previous page.
Okay.
However, the property owner's evidence is under 1354
Right,
at the moment.
at the moment. Yeah.
I think you went to fix
Yeah, that almost scared me. I said, wait a minute, I got two. Supposed to have two today.
it. Wrong name.
Yeah. Well, same person.
Right.
What's the next ID?
1353.
62971.
Page
It's
9.
LPA Holdings.
Yeah.
Like Lakers Golf. Something like GA.
Yeah.
Ready?
Almost, we're getting our stuff to sign in.
You're gonna move the evidence over.
Yeah. That's already moved.
Yeah. So that makes it-
Sign it.
Is that here? I didn't see her already.
Lay it low.
I guess.
Okay.
1353.
Okay. We've already done the script, so all we need to do is swear in again. I, Charles Powers, do solemnly swear I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 4166F. And this is related to case ID 1353, account 62971.
I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 14.66F, 41.66F.
I, Bill Dutton, do solemnly swear I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code 4166.
I, Scott Wagner, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F.
I, Larry Andrew, do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony I shall present at the appraisal review board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
I, Eamon Burke, do solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you shall present to the appraisal review board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
The case ID is 1353, the account number is 62971. Ron,
And the evidence has moved over, so.
It's still, it's paper goes first.
Who goes first? Who goes
You
first?
get-
Y'all go first.
Okay, they
All
go
right.
first.
Yeah,
So
they go
it's,
first.
62917. Last year, this property said the market value was 165,100. This year, it was noticed at 291,180. Okay, it is a self-storage facility on Fuqua Street behind the Rising Tide Fitness and the Roadrunner Laundromat. The property is 7,040 square feet of external building area. There is an 80% efficiency on the building because it is a cinder brick self-storage. Basically, the walls are really thick. And the value was derived by being given a market rent of $9.25 a foot per year, 15% vacancy and 40%, 45% expenses. And then we given a market cap rate loaded of 8.95. That's where our value came from. The equity grid is other traditional self-storage units that are, I think, 20729, I think, is the one that also is cinder brick. It's not the only cinder brick building. And that was how we derived our building efficiency. To get basically we want the rentable square footage. We want to know how many units times what by what is being rented. And that's what would drive the value. The sale ratio report that follows is for all income value properties and Aransas County. There are some self-storages in there, I think. Right. That's it. That's our evidence. That's where it came from.
Okay. So, your name again? Larry?
Larry,
Right.
yeah.
You have 2 minutes for cross-examination to ask him questions and then 5 minutes for your presentation. So I'll give you 7 minutes.
Okay. Well, I mean, I heard what you said, and when I give my evidence, it's about the condition and how you arrive at value for those two buildings. That's my real deal there. Like I say, you explained how y'all came about it, but I don't think that's a true evaluation of value for those buildings, and I'll explain why.
Go ahead, carry on.
Okay. I've got some historical information as far as taxes, starting in 2018 and coming up to now. Assessed value in 18 was 57,000. In 19 was 94,000. In 20 was 165,000. And now in 21, they've got it pegged at 291,180, which is crazy. I'm saying it's not, we're even close to that figure. And it won't even insure for close to that figure. There's a sheet here from a company that does storage property, and it puts classes of storage properties. And somewhere or another, that's not being looked at. I have no idea why. You got a class A property, a class B, and a class C. If you want me to read that, I will.
No, I'll let you know, we have no class A storage anywhere in Aransas.
Well, mine's probably a D or an E because of a number of reasons. Harvey took off. These buildings are 50 years old. Okay, but they were built cheap when they were built, and they used some kind of a lightweight concrete roof system. That the roof was the interior ceilings of these buildings. Well, those things in no way would pass windstorm coverage. So when Harvey took the roof off, I replaced them with a metal roof, pitched roof. Unfortunately, when I did that, the insurance company wouldn't pay for signage, fencing, or anything else. But to salvage the buildings, I put new roofs on it. Therefore, I haven't done any other repairs to these buildings, and it obviously affects any amount of storage rates that I charge, plus the amount of people that I have in there. Then we got the problem with drainage on Market right there on the corner. Okay, and on July the 6th, I had 6 inches of water in those buildings. 8 people moved out. So now my percentage of people that's in them is quite low. Now, there's things that I can do to bring these buildings up, but they're still basically 50-year-old in a low area type deal. And I don't know how you class that as an A or B or C property there. And the fact that I can't even get insurance to insure it for that kind of an assessed value. And I've taken some pictures of some of the other mini storage, Rockport Self-Service down on Market, and then Affordable, which is down the street between right here and the corner Pinas. on this side, and then Fortress, that's Fortress, and then Affordable is the one on the bypass that blew down, and that's a brand new section of buildings there. All those people are gated, they're all got password, key entry, they've got, security, they've got, and I had a lady call me the other day, and want to know if it had climate control on mine. I said, no, ma'am. She said, what was it gated? I said, no. So, well, you got a security system? Okay, thanks. So, I'm not in the area, and on top of that, the only access to these storage buildings is from the back from Fuquay Street, not any access from 35. So I felt like the value they assigned last year was a fair amount, and that was a big increase from the year before.
Are they far enough apart where you can park the boat in?
Now, these are mini storerooms.
So you're limited on that.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, I probably missed a couple of things, but I think it's, let me just look here.
Okay.
I included a bunch of pictures and stuff there.
Yeah, we see your pictures.
Yeah,
And then there was a little chart there that says, hey, this is what I offer, and this is the features that my competitors offer, and they got a bunch of X's for extra stuff that I don't have, but I kind of explain that also. And I must say, on a piece of property, you can only do so much to appearance-wise to fix it up. The old cliche was only so much lipstick will make a difference, but the base is still the pig.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. We still got a minute left, so if you want to ask any question.
No, it was just a comment. I'm really surprised. It's interesting at how little these cinder block buildings didn't hold up very well during the hurricane.
Nope.
Metal buildings held up. Cinder block.
Well, in 1970, they didn't have the structural capacity to build. Now they do.
If you're in a hurricane and you take shelter, you have an old building that looks like a fortress and a building built last year, going in the one built last year.
Yeah.
And my daughter owns a facility in South Carolina. She got 680 units, and it's all the late model stuff.
I mean, we saw mobile homes that were installed
Yeah.
3 months before the hurricane
Well,
got untouched.
And
And
so,
then things that are landmarks that got blown away.
Yeah.
Paper.
and a lot of these facilities have got on-site offices and stuff.
That's it for his.
okay. Haman?
Yeah.
This is your time.
Okay.
I have a question.
Sure.
It sounds to me like between the pictures and the other information, what he's basically challenging is the rental rate and the vacancy.
Yes.
Now, as an appraiser, if you look at this, what would you change?
The things that would be affected here is both the rental rate, the vacancy, and the cap rate for this property. So my question would be, what is your rental rate currently? I don't remember. I think we talked about this.
What do I rent a storeroom for? $50.
Okay, so it's $50 per month, and they're what, 5 by 10?
10 by 10.
10 by 10, okay. So they're 10 by 10, and it's 50.
Right now, they have to look at the rental percentage at about 40%. Because
So-
I had all those people move out because of that I can't fix.
Well, how many, so it was, how many units do you have total? Do you know? off the top of your head?
60.
60, okay. And how many people are in it now?
I'd be guessing at maybe 20 or 25 units. I mean, once again, if I wanted to give you a accurate figure, but I'm giving you about what it was, because like I said, I had 8 people move out in July because of flooding in the buildings.
Right. Okay. And so it's about half full in any given time.
About 40%.
Well, I mean, right now, I mean, in general.
Well, okay, if we
About
wanted
half
to pick a half, yeah.
Okay, what normal vacancy is 15% for a self-storage.
Yeah.
Usually self-storages are
Okay,
packed.
but I'm
Packed
telling
up.
you, hey, this is not a usual storage facility.
Right.
I'm aware of that.
Okay, and, yeah, so that would be, let's see. That's how many square feet?
$7,040.
Right, so that's. And for, what was the number last year?
165, 100.
So if I'm remembering rightly, that number last year was arrived at based on you providing your rent, right? I think that's what we did.
Well,
It was a year ago, but I think that's what it was. So that basically represents what's called a fee simple valuation of your property. That's just the kind of thing that I can't settle for, but I don't think it's wrong. Our values just, our notice value is median, but his is below. In reality, it's worth less than market average for the things he's saying. It's a sub-market type property. And just to be clear, it's a class C storage unit. Class A storage units are the ones you see in Austin and San Antonio with like glass walls and stuff. Those are class A. They're worth millions of dollars.
So what did you come up with
The same as last year.
last year?
Yeah.
You go with last year?
let's do last year. I thought last year was.
I agree. I agree.
fair.
It's just a matter of how, I can't notice yours at a different value than everybody else. This might be a regular thing for you.
Yeah.
Just to have
Yeah,
it
just come back
handled
in.
this way. We'll see what we can do year over year.
Okay.
I don't disagree with you.
Is
It's a
this
process.
the first year it was on income?
No, it was last year.
Okay.
That was the settlement last year was on his actuals.
All right.
I don't have his actuals this year.
So I'm gonna make a motion then on case ID 2021-1353. Account 62971, considering Q1 incorrect appraised market value and Q2 appraisal ratio exceeds the median level of appraisal or the equity value. I move that we lower the 2021 assessed value from $291,180 down to last year's value of $165,100.
Second.
In favor?
All right.
Aye.
None. We're done.
All right.
You only had two, right?
That's it.
That's it.
All
We're
right.
all done.
We'll be getting something in the mail with the determination on it. and everything. We're good. Set.
Okay,
All right.
y'all through with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Make room for whoever else is out there.
there we go. Well, I appreciate y'all listening and acting on it, so
Yeah, absolutely.
appreciate it.
Yeah, it's good to
All right, you guys have a good one.
You too. Thank
You brought good information. The pictures were very revealing.
Good, good. Until next year.
You bet.
Oh, it showed up.
Two.
Just two?
I'm aware of it. Okay, so our next case is here in person, and it's Deskin is the last name, and let me get the case number for you.
1572.
Excuse me.
1572. Rhonda Deskin is here.
This is the meeting.
What page is it on?
Page 10.
Middle of
middle.
10. You recognize this one?
Do that.
You ready? I'll bring her on back.
Bring her on back.
Okay. Sit in that chair at the end of the table.
Okay.
This is Rhonda Deskin.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, Rhonda.
How are y'all?
Good.
Okay, Rhonda, we have to go through some administrivia before we get to the meat of the matter.
Okay.
If you just follow along with me, I'll have some questions when I get down toward the end.
Okay.
We're opening a hearing on ID 1572, account number 56469. This hearing is being recorded.
Under protest is Q1 incorrect appraised market value.
We're the appraisal review board that will be hearing your protest today. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of your protest. The board is the four of us sitting around the table here. Eamon is the representative of the district. At the end of the hearing, you may complete a survey regarding your experience. The survey may be completed using the survey form and email to ptad.communications@cpa.texas.gov or online at surveymonkey.com/r/surveyarb. The survey is voluntary. You also have the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to you with our determination. At the end of this hearing, a letter will be generated which has our determination of value. It also has instructions and information for you if you want to appeal further, if you don't agree with us. In accordance with tax code section 4145H, all written material that has not been provided must be provided at this time. Do we have all of your evidence in the system?
Yes.
Very good, thank you. The ARB members who are considering a protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing an affidavit to that effect. I, Charles Powers, do solemnly swear I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 4166F.
I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F.
I, Bill Duck, solemnly swear I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code 4166F.
I, Scott Waggart, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F.
All testimony from all witnesses must be given under oath.
Deskin, if you'll go ahead and read that aloud with your name.
I do solemnly swear to affirm that the testimony I shall present to the appraisal review board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
And if you'll state your name.
Rhonda L. Duskin.
I am virtue solemnly swear affirm the testimony shall present to the appraisal review board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
Rhonda, I'm obligated to ask you if you have an appraiser's license in the state of Texas.
No.
On your table, there is a chart that has two major columns in it. And that is because you get to choose whether you go first, speak first, or whether Eamon speaks first for the district. Which would you prefer?
I think he should speak first.
Okay,
I've never
Eamon?
done this
All
before.
right.
I'm right.
You have 5 minutes.
Okay. Subject property is 56469. Last year, it was certified at 197,690. This year, it was noticed at 380,700 even. The property is a single-family residential home at the end of Bufflehead in Copano Cove. The end of the cul-de-sac. It is classed as a 5FB, and its built year is 2019. So it's a fairly recent build, but not a brand new home to the record. The sales are first sale is 312 East Echo Trout, and it's a 5FB built in 2019. Really good comp. And the value on that, we have the sale being verified at 324,000. When adjusted to be like the subject, the indicated value for the subject is 368,000. So just on that one comp alone, it would indicate a negative adjustment based on that sale price. The next comp is on Ball Street. It sold for $337,460. And indicates a value for the subject at $385. And then Pintail sold for $350. It's also 5FB 2019, indicating a value for the subject at $384,193. That ends up being the median. It is most of the adjustments for how it's situated. It's at the end. Being at the end is better. Being on the side. But for other than that, the houses are pretty similar. Is Q2 selected? No, it's not. Okay, let's skip our equity grid. It's fine. And the sales ratio report is for Coleman Fulton Pasture, the region. That's Copano Cove out to Rattlesnake Point, the whole surrounding area. We're at 1.00. So the changes year over year, we're just keeping up with sales activity in this neighborhood based on what sales we can get and the form we can get. That is all.
So Rhonda, you have 2 minutes for cross-examination if you want to ask him questions, and then 5 minutes for your presentation. Okay.
Me, where we're at, it's like when you can't get a boathouse there or no boat dock or anything like everybody else around us. Well, my sister-in-law doesn't have one, but there's no way, it's too shallow. And that's if we went to sell it, that would be a point that they would see, because there's no way you can get a boat in and out of there. And the other is that picture I showed y'all. This is really an eyesore when you drive by, because it looks really bad. And really, I guess that's all I have to say.
Do you want to tell them about your sales? You have a bunch of sales.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my daughter-in-law, these are some things that were around us, in Rockport. I don't know. I'm not good at this. I was supposed to have help, but my husband was supposed to be here. We lost our son 2 or 3 months ago. I'm not good at this right now. I just said I'd do my best, so this is all I have to say.
Okay.
Almost backed out for last minute anyway.
Let me ask you a question. How deep is the water?
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
Right now, you can walk across it. And that's not a lot.
From,
I should have took a picture of
you
it.
mean from
From
your
my house to, there's a little,
to the island?
there's a little bitty
Yeah,
thing right
the
there.
island, yeah.
It's real nice for the birds and stuff, but right now you could walk.
Walk across.
Right now from our house, from our
Really?
corner.
And we-
I waded across the entire.
Yeah, you're right about that. Because my son actually, him and his friend, I have a picture of them out there and wading on the other side of the island. You're right.
And I think we're a foot above mean level of water now.
The bottom there too, it's kind of silty, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. They never did it again. It was so muddy and they got stuck up out in it. Yeah.
It's really good if you're hunting winter trout.
Yeah.
Right down. It's warm.
It's difficult to tell from the picture that,
I know, I didn't do.
no, it's not your picture that I'm talking about.
No.
It's the pictometry that we're looking at from the district's evidence. The distance around that corner too is, never mind. It's just unclear how much space there is.
Yeah.
When the water, if it was way up, you could possibly, if you have a very shallow boat, but if it's not, there's no way to get through there.
But there's really something to be said for keeping it on a trailer and running it
Yeah.
through the launching ramp.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
doesn't
that's-
require to be cleaned.
Yeah.
Zoom out.
Yeah. Anyway.
Does that mean that all these people,
This one has
now, is there another outlet for this?
Were you looking?
Looking at the.
Canal.
No, to get to Copano Bay.
No, this is the outlet.
That's
Where's
the
that?
only outlet?
There's,
This is
you get out
Salt Lake, right?
here.
Yes.
This right here
You
is
get
Salt
out
Lake.
here,
You can
yeah,
pretty
you
much
get out
walk
here.
You
walk
can.
That's
across
it.
Salt Lake.
You can. I've done it. Yeah, you gotta get chest high.
Here.
Yeah.
There's outlets here
Can't stop.
and here.
Be soft.
Keep your leg moving.
These right here,
You'll be running like a cartoon.
they get out through here, not here.
Yeah.
This is the main
but This
outlet.
is the only outlet. Move the picture down. For all of
Yes.
this,
These are
Yes.
beautiful houses.
has to go through here?
Mhm. Yep.
Wow.
Code was
Nothing
terrible.
in these people have this.
You're
Now
right.
now
There's a whole lot of
really
people that have to go through this.
Yes, it
alone.
has. Yeah, you're right.
Let's see.
Yeah, the access is not very good.
It doesn't look like anybody has. There's some here on the ends.
Yeah.
There's minimal boat traffic.
Yeah, there's minimal boat traffic. They're just shallow canals. I live off of one of those too.
Oh,
I live right here. It's,
Okay.
they are shallow.
So Eamon, you have then 2 minutes for cross-examination, 2 minutes for rebuttal. if you
Yeah,
need.
one thing I just want to point out for the record, for perpetuity, is our comp number one, we have a verified sale price on that of $324,000.
Yeah,
And if you look at their evidence, that is one of the things that they have MLS sales for, 312 East speckled trout. That 324 number came from a seller questionnaire. So they sent that in, signed a little thing with their name on it saying, it's completely correct, that's what they sold it for. And here it is, 345. So that's the kind of data we get from people.
where's
Kind of
It's
frustrating.
the 345.
within the MLS was?
Yeah, the MLS is usually pretty accurate. But you know, it's just, that's kind of annoying to me. People just lying to us. about-
Oh, you're saying the seller said it, they sold it for that,
We have that as a verified number at 324, but it's actually 345.
but the MLS evidence over here is.
If you say it's verified, isn't it verified?
Well, the thing is, like, if your tactic is to lie to us under oath, you're gonna win. It's gonna work.
Or-
There's no,
I mean, the other question is,
Prevention.
what does verified mean?
it means we have writing to back it up. And so in this case, we have somebody's signature at the bottom of a page saying, that's what I sold it for, and it's not what they sold it for.
Yeah.
So like, what can we do about that? There's nothing. I can't hook them up. to-
Conversely, MLS can't always be trusted.
Okay, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. It's not perfect. I'm just saying. Anyways.
where are we?
Still his time.
Still his time?
Cross.
I have another question if you want to take it.
Sure.
Is there a different land table for the houses that have to exit through this chute versus those that have a different way out?
By default, yes, because the land tables in this neighborhood and in our county in general are so small. There's gonna be a bufflehead land table. Pintail land table.
Okay.
They're gonna be that granular. Yeah, the only thing that would be different is if there was one for the end as opposed to the sides, but. Well, let's look at the name on the card.
Yeah, I mean. it'd be interesting
Property
to see.
says SFT S1.
I'm just gonna look. Amen, hold on, I'll look better than you can, sorry. It's on a Salt Lake land table.
Salt, what's it called? SFT.
SFTS 1289 Salt Lake. Which other one you wanna see, Charlie? Point to one.
One that doesn't have to come out through here, one of these.
So like one, this one?
Yeah, sure, that's a good one, because that comes out.
It's on a ball land table.
Fascinating.
SFTS 1289 ball.
And
You want another one?
no,
Is there a Bufflehead land table?
The Salt Lake.
Salt Lake.
Well, pick another Bufflehead property like 16,
533.
yeah,
16 what?
533.
353?
353, yeah.
It's on a Buffalo Head land table.
What's
It's
the be-
because they're right on Salt Lake.
Okay.
Let me look at the one next door.
Well, look at,
16350.
no, look at 53739. Couldn't find it.
They have a lakeshore and lakeshore.
Okay.
Hold
What's
on,
the-
wait, there's 3 different land. They're all, that's a lakeshore.
But it's gonna be lakeshore.
I'm thinking,
What's the value of the land on that one you just looked at, 16353? What's the Bufflehead land table per foot?
$965,
960.
and there's 120%
Oh, okay.
shade. There's an adjustment in there.
965. Wait, it's 965.
Yeah, I mean,
with
The
100
adjusted value is 84,420. Before the 120, it's 70,350. There's an adjustment to this land.
84,120. And for how much square feet?
7,290.
That's 11 and a half dollars a foot. A good bit more than.
yeah, because this I think looks like it's 11 or 9.
It's 9.
So that makes sense, right?
Yeah, the 9 would make sense.
Not in comparison to the Bufflehead land table.
It is 9. She's at $9
Oh.
square foot with no adjustment. No adjustment upward.
The $11 one has another out, another way out.
Oh, I thought that was not, I thought that was another one further down Bufflehead before you got to the end of Bufflehead.
Okay, so you can do 16350.
He was looking at 16353, which I think she said was a Bufflehead land.
The one
table.
right next door is on Salt Lake.
Yeah.
Which one is that?
16350
Yeah, 36. Yeah, right, that, yeah.
is also, because it's facing Salt Lake.
Questionable. With the,
So the people who
This
You have to go out
16350. Well,
past the island have a lower value than the people who have another way out.
this one doesn't have another way out.
no, 16353.
16353 only has this.
Right,
And they were $9?
no,
They're
11.
They're 11.
Doesn't make a lot of sense.
No.
But I can't argue the 9, so,
Yeah.
Because even with the adjustment.
yeah,
this land
however,
is still less.
I'm sorry, whose time are we on?
Well, we're.
We really
Yeah,
messed
2
up.
minutes.
I'm done.
You want to listen to us quibble here? I'm looking at the sales comps, and as much as, I understand what Eamon's saying about the verified blah, blah, and somebody lies, blah, blah. But just, I mean, the comparison to the subject,
Seemed pretty tight to me.
I don't know. I mean, the comp one it's more land, it's a bigger house. It is class 5 FB versus a 5 FB plus.
Same class.
Well, it's 5. What do you call the asterisk? Is that something special?
No, it's not.
Okay,
Everything should have it.
so it's the same class. I mean, it looks pretty damn comparable to me. Like almost dead nuts. And, it's a matter of what do you, if you,
It's out of 368.
yeah. And that's after adjustments.
Yeah. After
Okay.
adjustments. 368.
So I'm
And
kind of
so-
leaning towards that.
The 368,
Yes.
I could live with that.
Yeah. Okay. I think I can do that too.
You okay with that, Bill?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, well, I'm gonna make a motion then. On case ID 2021-1572, account 56469,
Thank you.
When considering Q1 incorrect appraised market value, I move that we lower the 2021 assessed value from $380,700 down to $368,000.
I'll second.
Go ahead, sure.
I'll second. Join alternate.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
The sales all over is just going nuts, just
I
totally
know.
nuts.
I know.
And that's makes it so difficult.
Or just swallow.
Yeah.
We're done, Rhonda.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I don't get this. Tables are screwy. I mean, there ought to be some value difference.
No, her son just died, she said.
I understand. I don't get why she was
I'm sure,
kind of torn up.
The,
I'm sure.
there ought to be some value difference.
I was gonna be here.
People who have to go out through this place that dries up when they can't get out.
Right.
Versus those who have a clear path into the Salt Lake.
Yeah, I'll make sure to. keep that in mind. Good thing to think about. Thanks.
Okay, next is case number 2275.
Oh, you're a person.
Yes,
Are you manufacturing these things as you go?
I believe this will be our last one. Y'all are ready?
2275?
Yes.
Yeah, we're ready.
I started crawling around the floor pulling out the trash.
Is that
What are we doing?
Found another one.
2275.
Six,
Holler at
two,
people down the street. Hey, come in here, sit.
67241,
Yes.
Just nod your head.
Oh, gosh, where is
Man.
that?
page 11.
Oh, okay.
Wow, that's an interesting name.
No kidding. Haven't heard that name in a long time. That's
Yeah.
Okay.
Old name,
There's that, and I will bring him on in.
7241.
You'll have a seat there at the end of the table. This is Quentin
Howdy.
Irvin.
How y'all doing?
All right.
Hey, good to see you.
Yes.
My brother-in-law worked with Dow over in Freeport.
Really?
Yeah, been a long time ago.
I get to work on the good part of Dow. I work for the pipeline side.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we're traveling pipelines all the way from, we got pipeline in the ground all the way from Kingsville, was all the way to Brownsville, all the way up to the Louisiana border.
Don't find any drones yet?
Any drones?
Yeah.
No,
Pipeline?
no, no, Dow is using them for implant use now, for column inspections and
Okay,
stuff like that.
really?
And it's funny to watch them guys, they come out, those are licensed aviators, they come out there in their suits and there, I mean, they just.
Oh,
you
wow,
can't take it.
really?
I mean, I'm sitting there watching them going, really? Your brother's got a lot of. He's doing better than you are.
Oh, man. Okay, we have some administrative that we need to go through. I'll go through the script, and when I get down to the bottom, I'll have some questions for you.
Okay,
Just follow along with me.
yes, sir.
We're opening a hearing on case ID 2275, account 67241. This hearing is being recorded.
Your protest is Q1 incorrect appraised market value.
We are the appraisal review board that will be hearing your protest today. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of your protest. The four of us are the appraisal review board. Eamon is the representative of the district. At the end of the hearing, you may complete a survey regarding your experience. The survey may be completed using the survey form and email to pted.communications@cpa.texas.gov or online at surveymonkey.com/r/surveyarb. Survey is voluntary. You also have the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to you with our determination. In accordance with tax code section 4145H, all written material that has not been provided must be provided at this time. ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing an affidavit to that effect. I, Charles Powers, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 4166F.
I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F.
I, Bill Dunn, do solemnly swear I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code 4166F.
I, Scott Wager, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F.
All testimony from all witnesses must be given under oath.
Okay. I, Quentin Irvin, do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony I shall present to the appraisal review board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
I, Eamon Burke, do solemnly swear or affirm the testimony shall present to the appraisal review board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
Quentin, I'm obligated to ask you if you have an appraiser's license in the state of Texas.
No, sir, I don't.
Thank you.
Since you said Texas, my brain keeps trying to say Texas.
Thank you.
On your table, to your left hand, there's a chart. That's the procedure that we'll use throughout the hearing.
Okay.
There are two major columns on that chart because you can choose whether you speak first or Eamon speaks first for the district. Which would you like to do?
You can speak first.
Eamon, 5 minutes.
Okay. All right, this count is 62741. This is a single-family residential property in Neptune Harbor, 44 Magnolia Street. Last year, it was certified at 264,460. Here it was noticed at 394,620. The property is a main area, a house, the porch, and then there is a boat storage building in the back. It has water underneath it. If you look at the picto, you can see there's like a deck type looking thing by the canal. There's actually space for a boat underneath that. The property is a somewhat recent construction. It's 2019. And there's also a building that is mostly garage, detached garage with a little bit of an inlay on it as well. Two separate building segments, actually three if you count the little boat storage. It's at the end of the canal on Magnolia Street. The comps we use are 58 Magnolia Street, 66 Magnolia Street, 9 Neptune Drive, and 39 Front Street, and 45 Front Street. Indicating a value for the subject when adjusted to be like the subject at 403,605. And the equity grid, that's under protest.
No.
No, okay, all right, I'll move on. The numbers fine. And the sales ratio report is for Neptune Harbor. It says we're at 1.1 in Neptune Harbor. So again, our number, there's an adjustment for end of canal on the land. Our number is 395, basically. And that's all.
Okay, all right. So Quentin, you have 2 minutes for cross-examination if you want to ask him questions, and then 5 minutes for your presentation.
Okay. On that appraisal, you said about the end of the canal, you gotta take that into consideration
Yes.
on what end of the canal it is? Is it?
No, the end of the canal just having poor circulation. People typically, if they're gonna live on the canal, want to live further down. Yours is end of canal, which is, you know.
I'm in the canal and I'm on the southern side of the canal too.
Right.
So I pick up when everybody mows their grass, I pick up all their lawn clippings on my end.
Dead fish.
Dead fish, floating bottles, big party upstream, I get to pick up the trash.
Yes, indeed.
So, that was one of my questions.
You can also present.
Okay, so, the evidence I presented was an appraisal that was done for a refinance on June of 2020. I don't know exactly what time of the year y'all did y'all's appraisal in 2020, but that appraisal came in at about 345. And that's a refinance appraisal. That's if I were to sell that house that day, that's as much money as I could get on a loan through the bank. The other evidence that I did a little research yesterday is that there's 19 homes down Magnolia Street. And of the 19 homes, there's 13 homes that are taxed less than me and 5 homes that are taxed more than me. And I'm also the only, in the whole neighborhood, I'm also the only home, two of us are the only homes that are sitting on the slab. Everybody else is up in the air. If you look at the one home that is on the slab, I think it is taxed to like 256,000. That's right there by the crossover bridge on Front Street. Of course, it was built in 1963, so understand the difference in the ages of homes. So the kind of one of my concerns is yes, I do have a boat garage that's built out there that's around 1,600 square feet. If I were to put my house up on stilts, that storage would have been underneath the house. And if you look at all the other homes in the neighborhoods, they're all up on stilts and their storage is underneath the house. If I were to put my house on the market and somebody else would put their house on the market, my house would be probably one of the least to sell because it does not have a view. I can't see, I see brush when I look out my back porch. I can't see a bay. It is also not a custom built home. That home is built by United Homes out of Robstown, Texas. You go in there, you pick your floor plan, and if you want to make some changes, you pay a little extra money to it, and they make the changes. And I'm also probably one of the smaller homes in the neighborhood. So that was my issue for coming in here and kind of speaking with y'all today. If y'all have any questions for me, feel free to ask.
Just envious of your garage.
And that's actually one building. That's not two separate buildings.
Okay.
Yes,
It just looks like that on the drawing.
it looks like that on the drawing, but there's a high bay and a low bay.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the garage, y'all have a 320 square foot area in the back. What are y'all calling that in the tax roll?
It's a porch.
That's a porch, okay. That's actually 220 square foot. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, that's not a porch. I don't think y'all had it listed as a porch. I thought you had it listed like an external, different living area. Yeah.
Wait, you're talking about the back of the house?
Oh, no, in the back of the garage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, we have that listed as being enclosed space.
Yes, and that's what it is,
Yeah.
but it's at 220, not 320.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Jackie, can you put a note in there for that the MA and the DG is 220, not 320? So is it's 16 by 20? Is it 16 by what?
That whole barn is roughly 40 by 40.
Right.
The boat I have that goes in it takes up 29 feet, 6 inches.
Okay.
So that's actually 10 foot by 20.
10 by 20.
Yes, that's what it is.
220 square feet.
Yeah, it's 10. It's just you can just say that the MA is a 10 by 20.
So when the boat goes in, I mean, you squeak it in.
So then with the other garage space in, instead of 480, it would be 580.
Yeah, don't get it.
Okay.
Outstanding. That's what it says.
And like I said, it's just a cookie cutter home. It's nothing special.
220 is what we do.
Square feet, yeah, that one corner of the garage.
Yeah, right,
So the-
right.
The other part then would be 580,
Yeah,
assuming, the whole garage is the same.
yeah, which should,
You decrease the value a little bit.
yeah, right, that's what I was asking.
Yeah.
Because it's currently valued at 29K, 29.5. And we just decreased it by a third.
Basically a third.
You can't overlook the appraisal either, 345.
And I mean, I'll be
Right.
perfectly honest with y'all, when I got this, I didn't even, my neighbor came up and told me, hey, you look at your taxes? Nah, I didn't look at them. And I called up here, I got them, and then I mean, the increase is 130,000 in 1 year, and that's almost 50%, pretty close, 47% in 1 year. I mean,
Yeah.
you're increasing my overall payment of over $2,000 a year. I mean, that's substantial. I don't have any exemptions on this property at all, so there is no homestead cap or anything like that, which I can only increase it. I mean, it's sky's the limit, and just kind of caught me off guard when I saw this,
Why doesn't homestead? Do you have a house somewhere?
I've
else?
got a homestead in Goliad, yes, sir.
Go ahead, yeah.
And that one's homesteaded.
What's that time?
27 seconds left, whoever, so we were in
I have
your time, okay.
Okay, so I'll just give you my perspective on this. It's a little long-winded, but it's recorded, so I've gotta do it. I'll just be completely candid about this. I think the appraisal you got on this, the bank got, the credit union got for your house is kind of messed up. Like if I was to go and buy this house or sell this house, I would be annoyed. This is not a good appraisal. Your house is worth more than this. I'm just telling you that. Because this guy's not taking into account, I mean, there's better comps and like, he's not taking into account what your boat storage is. It's just, like, you would be annoyed if you were going to sell this and you're trying to get what you wanted out of it. And then this guy appraised your house and said it was worth $347. You'd be like, come on, man, like, what are you talking about? Because it would sell for a good deal. That being said, so I'm just pointing that out. I think that appraisal is good. It's fine, you got a loan on it. I'm sure they're happy to collateralize that on it. It's worth at least that. But that being said, I'm just saying the adjustments that are being made are not, they're not,
Okay, not,
it's just cookie cutters. They're plugged into somebody's software and it just automatically pulled comps from all over the place and it made these little adjustments. I think the result was kind of an inexpert result. That being said, the standard, the evidentiary standard for an ARB hearing is the preponderance of evidence, right? What's more likely than not? And the fact that we're doing a mass appraisal and what he presented to you is a fee appraisal, where they were appraising this property in particular by a certified licensed appraiser. It's not our place to, like, I have an opinion about the quality of his work because I'm an appraiser and I can tell that quick. But it's more likely, anytime someone gives you a fee appraisal, it is more likely that that's accurate than any mass appraisal because it's a fee appraisal. It's looked at closer. So as far as likelihood, if I were you, I would just go with that. Just on the basis of it being fee appraisal. Yep. So,
Pretty good.
You okay with that?
So to go back to what you said about the appraisal, I actually called the bank back when I got that appraisal. Because at the end of the day, you know, everybody wants to be able to make money on their house when they sell it. You want to sell it for what you bought it for, or have in it. And I actually had to pay another point or partial point in interest because it didn't appraise out high enough.
Yeah.
And that's what the mortgage institution is telling me. So at that point in time, you know, I think I might kind of disagree with your statement on that. And with that being said, how many times do we set people's tax appraisal at what our appraiser is, you know? So that's.
No, I'm not, I'm saying I agree with that. Like, we should put it at what the fee appraisal, what it appraised out for by the bank. I'm just saying that is, you know, if it was done by any local appraiser. I'm just trying to tell you, this person, your house is worth more. Your house is great. I know it's small, but it's great. But I'm okay with the value, because like I said, it's more likely.
Are you okay with that?
because it's a fee appraisal. Okay.
So what do we say this appraised at?
345.
Your fee.
345.
If that's the best I can do, I will agree with that, but my only concern is that that is a fee appraisal. At that point in time, if I were to sell that house, that's the most that I could get for it without anybody else coming in. And if I were to sell it to you, and you didn't have the money to go, and I asked $450 for it, and the appraisal came back at $345, you would have to come back and make up the difference out of some fund somewhere else. You are taxing me at full appraisal value, is what I'm saying, as a fee appraisal value. Nowhere else does anybody or any county do that. That usually your tax roll is less than what you could sell your house for.
No,
Law says that can't be the case, but.
it's
No,
not
actually,
supposed to
the
be that.
law is your value is supposed to be actually the number above that. the number that, it's a fee simple valuation. So let's say your house is 350 on the, it gets appraised by a fee appraiser of 350, and they get a loan for 350. If that person's willing to pay you 390 for it, it's supposed to be on the tax roll for 390.
So if you look at the other houses down the neighborhood, and I'm looking at these houses, and I've got all the prices written down and what they appraised them at, right? And you're telling me my neighbor's house, 2 houses down, is only worth $339,000? You're telling me that if you were to go get a fee appraisal, that it would come in at $339,000?
Okay, that's what I'm saying. This is not a fee appraisal. It's a mass appraisal of the whole county. Your house is just included in it. Their house is worth more than that.
And what I'm saying is that you're taxing me at a fee appraisal and you're taxing them at a mass appraisal.
No, I'm not. Our mass appraisal value is higher than this fee appraisal value. I think the fee appraisal is not accurate. But I'm happy with settling it. I'm happy with moving it down.
I'm good with it.
I'm gonna make a motion then on case ID 2021-2275, account number 67241. When considering Q1 incorrect appraised market value, move that we lower the 2021 assessed value from 394,620 down to 345,000 even.
I'll second.
All in favor?
All right.
And just as an aside, all my buddies that work for Dow are members of the credit union. I didn't think that there was ever a, they pick up the phone and say, I'm buying a brand new Haney, and they say, how much is it?
No, it has
$95,000.
No.
Go get it.
No, no. Since that housing crash, it was, I want to tell you, it was a pain to do a refinance now.
Really?
Yes, it is a pain.
Interesting.
Yes. And when you go in there and you say, you get pre-approved and all that,
Do what?
they come back and appraise, they're like, okay, Mr. Urban, this is all we do.
Probably 60.
A question
So
for
his
you. How was
thing
your
across the room.
experience with United Built?
Be
My
careful.
son is thinking about building.
Horrible.
Horrible, okay.
I tell you what,
Learn how to
write my
catch.
phone number down. 361-553.
You're online.
Oh, yeah, hold on.
You're being recorded, so.
Oh, okay.
yeah, just-
You might not.
That's enough of a.
They've got my number. I would love to talk to you about
Okay.
them, really.
Yeah.
Especially if you're doing it out of Ross now.
Yeah, he's.
Okay, we're done.
All right, thank you.
Go with Southwest Homes.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Have a good day.
Hey, guess what?
Why?
That's it.
We're here to say thank you.
The year's done.
Can you close the meeting?
Oh, yeah.
I make a motion that we adjourn forever, or just for today.